In traditional akhadas across India, wrestlers covered in red clay push their bodies to the absolute limit. They pray to Hanuman, the monkey god, honoring him as the ultimate patron of raw, unyielding physical power. Yet, step outside the wrestling pit, and you'll find a completely different kind of reverence. Millions of ordinary people stand with folded hands before colorful statues of that exact same god, offering quiet, humble prayers to ward off daily anxieties and seek spiritual protection. This presents a fascinating contradiction. How did a supernatural being, known for world-breaking martial strength, become history's most famous symbol of bowing absolute submission? History rarely allows these two paths to cross. To understand how Hanuman became the exception, we have to look back at the moment his power was first unleashed and then immediately taken away. To understand how those forces combine, we have to look at his origins. According to Hindu texts, Hanuman is the spiritual offspring of Vayu, the god of the wind. This lineage grants him boundless cosmic energy, blinding speed, and incredible agility. As an infant, he possessed infinite power but zero discipline. Driven by pure hunger, he looked up at the sky, mistook the blazing sun for a ripe mango, and went for it. Rocketing into space, he fully intended to consume the solar system. To prevent total cosmic destruction, Indra, the king of the gods, strikes the infant down with a thunderbolt. The blow is fatal, but the resulting chaos prompts the gods to intervene. They resurrect the child and grant him indestructible invulnerability. Fire, water, weapons, nothing can harm him. But a young, immortal being with limitless strength is a dangerous thing. After a series of destructive pranks, a sage places a curse on the youth. A spell strips his memory, locking away the knowledge of his own vast abilities. This curse ensures that his world-breaking strength stays locked behind a psychological barrier, waiting for a moment when raw power and a righteous purpose finally align. That cause arrives years later in the epic Ramayana. Hanuman encounters the exiled prince Rama, who is on a desperate, seemingly impossible quest to rescue his kidnapped wife, Sita. Hanuman pledges his service. Looking at this map of the subcontinent, you can see the massive geographical wall Rama's forces hit. They march to the absolute southern edge of India, blocked by an impassable ocean strait, with Lanka visible only on the distant horizon. None of Rama's allies can cross the water, but an elder bear reminds Hanuman of his divine origins, breaking his spell of amnesia. A flood of divine memory returns, unleashing his dormant Shakti. He expands to the size of a mountain. Gathering his strength, he leaps across the ocean, flying over the waves to infiltrate enemy territory alone. This physics-defying leap is the precise moment his raw, destructive physical power is finally activated. But this time, it is entirely justified by a higher purpose, his devotion to Rama. In Lanka, Hanuman eventually allows himself to be captured so he can speak directly with the demon king, Ravana. As punishment for the intrusion, Ravana orders his guards to wrap Hanuman's tail in oil-soaked cloth and set it ablaze. Instead of suffering, Hanuman innovates. He shrinks his massive body, slips out of his bindings, and weaponizes the flames. He leaps from rooftop to rooftop, turning the king's attempted torture into a massive inferno that reduces the demonic capital to ashes. Later in the epic war, Rama's brother falls mortally wounded, requiring a specific healing herb from the distant Himalayas. Hanuman flies north, but unable to identify the exact plant, he resorts to pure, staggering brute force. He literally rips the entire mountain from the earth and carries it across the subcontinent to the battlefield. The ultimate display of his character happens after the war is won. When court officials question his need to be rewarded or recognized, Hanuman physically tears open his own chest. Inside, glowing where his heart should be, are the images of Rama and Sita. These feats cement his legacy. His world-breaking action and strength are entirely fueled, focused, and validated by his unwavering devotion and love. Roughly a millennium after the original epic was composed, the medieval Hindu bhakti movement began to shift how society engaged with these stories. Poet saints like Tulsidas reframed Hanuman. He transitioned from a distant, untouchable mythological warrior into an accessible, personal savior who could be approached by the common person. He gained a critical new cultural title, Sankata Mochana, which translates to the remover of dangers, or the breaker of hurdles. This shift democratized Hanuman's power. Instead of merely reciting a grand myth, ordinary people now had a practical, daily psychological tool to draw upon when facing personal hardship, illness, or political oppression. This potent archetype of the ultimate protector did not stay confined to India. Over centuries, his story rapidly spread and mutated along the trade routes of Southeast Asia. In Thailand's Ramakian epic, he evolved into a fierce patron of martial arts, still celebrated today in highly athletic traditional Khan mask dances. Further south, in Indonesia, his narrative adapted into Javanese wayang shadow puppetry. While he occasionally gained local traits, even playing the role of a flirtatious hero, he always retained his core identity as a fierce protector. Hanuman's journey suggests that raw strength is most effective when it is invisible, serving a purpose greater than itself. He remains an icon of the impossible, the warrior who conquered the world by bowing down.